I am Iron Man.
Hello there.
Avengers!
So, Stars and Marvels, episode 11, doing part 5 and 6 finale of Miss Marvel. I'm just gonna say this about part 5. I'm just gonna say
I
this.
feel like we can kind of breeze over part 5.
We can do it in like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like here. Great backstory.
Yeah.
On the Pakistan. The I don't know if it's
like
okay. I don't know enough history about Pakistan, but like the Civil War kind of things that were happening there.
Yep.
It was worse
when the British split India in
right.
two into India and Pakistan. I believe
it was
is what happened.
Very cool backstory. I loved getting that story. It was very neat. The issue being weird time travel stuff.
Yeah,
and
there was
no elaboration on it.
Nope.
And it made no sense.
And it was kind of confirmed that it was time travel because she was the light guiding her grandma to the grandfather.
Look, I
great grandfather.
The MCU has done one thing with establishing time travel, and it's that it doesn't affect your future.
And it doesn't. It doesn't affect the future, and it's completely confusing now because of the time traveling in Endgame and the sort of time traveling in Loki.
I just thought this was weird. It made no sense. I almost feel like Feige didn't have a hand in that. Like it makes no sense to just change the rules of time travel.
Yeah.
Like I mean,
especially when they clearly set it out in Endgame. Like this isn't Back to the Future rules. Like it doesn't affect your future. It just creates a new timeline.
And maybe like the fact that it's based off of her powers and not science, and like Abu, the dad, that's what she calls him. I don't know his actual name, but like he even says magic in the finale. Like he just looks at her and he's like magic, and it's like I guess it is kind of it's not magic, but like it's its own thing. And so I don't know. I guess you could say both time travel rules exist, but that was just really weird. I liked the backstory. I liked the history, the Pakistan history. Very cool, very interesting. Again, the characters in this show are so well written. The time travel thing just didn't make sense to me.
It kind of threw it off. And that final episode just felt extremely like thrown together and then just short. Like it ended and I was like, was this a shorter episode than all? I didn't even
part 5.
Part 5, not part 6.
I agree. Part 5 ended, and I was like, I feel like we're missing half an episode. Like,
like I feel like
it was bizarre.
Yeah, I feel like they crammed too much in the beginning episodes, and then they're like, well, we want to do the finale, but we can't do it yet because it's only part 5. So here's a little tidbit, and then we'll cut it off right when the Stark drone comes in.
And then like the finale or part 5 ends last week, and I'm like, I don't think I can be won over with the finale.
Yeah, no.
But I'm here today to tell you, past Zach, you were very wrong.
Yes.
And quite honestly, the finale just, I loved it. I loved everything about it.
It made the show whole. It felt like,
Yeah. And I came in here. I wrote. So first of all, we're done with part 5. There's nothing else.
There's nothing really to talk about. She time traveled. You found out that she was the thing that led her great grandma lead to her dad. Yada yada. Her and the great grandma was a Noor or whatever. Or
whatever.
Not Noor,
she was a thing.
A Jinn. Yeah.
I didn't even remember it. The finale. My instant reaction, and this is the quote I'd like to put out there, and it is a compliment, and it's also critical. And it is, I think if Miss Marvel was a movie, whether it was a Disney Plus movie or whether it was a theatrical movie, I think if Miss Marvel was a movie, the MCU could have had a high school movie that rivaled Spider-Man Homecoming.
Yeah.
I think this was phenomenal. And it could have, if it was condensed to be a movie format and have the full full TLC that it needed to be that 2.5 hour max runtime, you could have had the high school stuff. You could have had the Pakistan history. You could have had the battle with the Jins and then the battle with damage control. Like you fit that in a 2.5 hour movie. And I think the whole thing would have flowed so much better. And we'd be sitting here talking about the future of the MCU looks great. Because I'll tell you what, the actress that plays Kamala, and I want to say her name, Iman Vellani. Vellani. Yep. She is awesome.
She killed it. Yeah, I mean, she did a great job portraying, Miss Marvel, a character that not many people know about. Like I had no clue. Not that I didn't have a clue, but I didn't know much about her and didn't know like personality wise and yada. But she did a great job of being Kamala Khan. Like
yes, and I am just this finale and Miss Marvel as a character has been very excited for the MCU, and I think if this was a movie, it would have just been that much better. That's all that's what I'm trying to say.
I feel like Disney has been getting too caught up in the shows, and they should do like Disney Plus only movies. I mean, I know they're going to lose a lot of money with box office and everything like that, but because they make a crap ton of money with box office numbers, because then people will go rewatch it on Disney Plus when it comes out, so they get double the money. But I mean, I feel like they should totally do like straight to Disney Plus movies, and this would have been a perfect example to do that, because it's not a huge character that probably would have drawn a lot of people to the theaters, so they would have gotten more. I don't know, but like it definitely would have been a better movie than a show.
That's all I'm trying to say, and it's not a critical thing of the show itself. It's more just a criticism of the Disney Plus Marvel format, because I like having things on Disney Plus. I like get that because we have so much original content. I just read on, I think it was IGN, that with the finale of Miss Marvel, I think there's officially over 100 hours in the MCU. Like that's crazy. Yeah, that's cool. Like I like that, but I just think when you get presented, okay, you have to do a series. You said it about part 5. We keep getting these. Okay, how do we stretch it out? And it's like, no, just condense it.
Put it good. Like honestly, they could have, if they just kind of told Kamala what her powers were in the beginning, they could have just cut out the clandestines and the whole like Jin thing, and the show would have still been perfect.
I also think it would have been in a different order. I think you would have had the damage control fight. It shouldn't have worked that was such a good fight in the finale, but it was. And I think it should have been reversed. You should have fought damage control first, because that was the pressing issue. Then the clandestine, they betray you essentially. You go to Pakistan, and then you deal with that, and that's your big blowout finale. Like that would have made more sense to me. I don't know. I just
feel like they just dropped the ball with the clandestines. Like because it just ended abruptly. Like, it was just like, oh, we can't get back home. So I don't even know what happened really. She killed herself to stop anybody else.
It was like some
I don't know.
The Tron sequel. Is that Tron Legacy?
No, I've never. But I know.
Well, basically, she sacrifices herself to close the gate, which something that happens in Tron Legacy. I guess I won't say what character it is, but
okay, you can spoil it.
but that's what, like it was even like a cool sacrifice. Like I get it. Like we've seen her enough to have that happen. She has Cameron. Sorry. She has Cameron that's gonna like be her legacy now, and he's obviously the next character. Maybe he's bad, maybe he's not. We'll find out. Yeah,
kind of a weird mix of what.
But I'm okay with that, right? Like you leave that up in the air, that's fine. But I think that was a little out of order, and like you said, like if you had, I just think could have been done a little better. But the finale was good, and I kind of let's finale. It was very good.
Part 5 finale. Bing. So
exactly. And I think the first thing to say is her costume looks great.
Oh yeah.
It's cool that it was just made by family in Pakistan.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then to kind of wrap it up, like to talk about all these things at once, her having like just ready to go with her powers and running through the city looked fantastic.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. It was like Spider-Man-esque of him swinging, on the buildings. It was just her running and like her stopping at the stops, like the stoplight, and then going. Like I thought that was kind of a funny detail.
It was very good. And it was just, I don't know, man, that finale just felt like that. I've been complaining all season. The MCU part of the show is what's not great. The finale, the MCU part was awesome.
Yeah, it made the MCU part it made the MCU stuff worthwhile. The finale had a great mix of the family elements and the MCU elements. I feel like the entire show has been fighting with those two things have been fighting with each other. Like,
correct.
Here's some family stuff, and oh, here's some Kamala using her powers, and oh, here's more issues with the dad or the mom or the brother or yada yada yada. And then, but they've just been conflicting each other, and this one has been a good mesh of the two.
And you finally get that confrontation of the family. And again, we know we love this family, they're just back her up.
Yeah, I was expecting the dad to freak out, the mom to freak out, but they were just like, no, do you you want to be a superhero? They kind of had a quasi but with great power comes great responsibility. It's the dad said something, I forget what it was.
That's what she I don't remember what he says exactly. He says something like, I don't want you to go looking for trouble, and she says, but you're the one who taught me that I can't let these powers go to waste, and I have to help people with them.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah,
and it really was it was there with great power comes great responsibility. But it was nice to see that family support, and we've talked about it this whole series. The family is a tentpole staple to this show. It's they're such a loving family, and I love every one of them. And see them back her is great.
Which is a weird thing for at least the MCU, because we never really seen, other than Clint Barton and Tony with Morgan at the end. We don't really see anybody's families, and I guess Aunt May, but
tragedy.
Yeah, all tragedies basically.
That's what we don't have tragedy in this case.
Yeah,
it's literally just love and support.
It's all support, and that was the one thing. I don't think we've ever seen. I mean, other than Peter Parker and Aunt May, but we never seen someone reveal that they were a superhero and the family be supportive. Obviously, right. Aunt May wasn't supportive at first with the what the yeah, but even when she first told the mom, I was expecting the mom to flip out, but she was just kind of okay,
that's it.
You do you. This is pretty cool. I was oh wow,
it was great, and even her, and again her getting the costume made, and yeah. I'm okay with how it's not clear, right? Did she help make it? Did she just have people make it? It's clearly from when they were in Pakistan. It's great, and the costume looks great, and I was actually shocked. I thought based off of the posters, it looks very CGI, and I don't know why this is going to be CGI, but no, it's real. It's a real costume, and it looks great.
There are some points where I think her mask was CGI'd on, unless it's just really weird looking, prop.
I believe that.
Because I was looking at it and I was like, her face looks really weird. Almost like how Thor's face looked with the mask on, and Jane Foster, kind of looked like that.
We didn't. I wanted to, since you brought it up, we didn't talk about that in our Thor review. So quick into Thor, but that was definitely the worst thing about that movie was the CGI.
Yeah, it was definitely felt rushed.
I actually just got off the phone with Nick and we talked about that. I kind of hope, and there's nothing official, obviously, but I kind of hope these movies and shows that were clearly made during the pandemic, people were working on this stuff from home. I'm hoping that somehow impacted the quality, and that as movies come out that have been worked on in studio, are better, hopefully. Yeah. Because I don't know about you, but I remember when Rocket and Groot came on screen in Love and Thunder, and I was like, it looks animated. It didn't look as crisp as they did in Guardians or Infinity War Endgame. So just a quick thing we didn't talk again, didn't affect my score really. I still enjoyed the movie, and I think CGI is usually that way for me. I can notice it, but it's not really going to affect how I feel because
who really cares? Yeah, I mean it doesn't affect the as long as the storyline and the stuff in the movie is good, it doesn't affect that. It's just kind of a weird distraction.
You don't want to get taken
for those
out
moments. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, I think for the most part, her face mask thing was real. I think it was she obviously was holding it at one point. So I think but I feel maybe reshoots they had to do or something like that.
Or even just action sequences where she still acted it out. They might not have bothered having her have a mask on because just they didn't know how her face would move in motion.
Exactly,
oh my god, the use of her powers were so cool in this episode.
And they brought the whole full circle with her powers in the comics and everything. And she even said
the embiggen.
She said the thing. Yeah, she said embiggen. Yeah,
it was so fun.
And looking deeper into it, like when she does embiggen, her like she actually does like her hands and legs get bigger. It's not just the magic it's not just the magic. Like it's not like she's on like stilts. What I mean, like her legs actually got longer. Her arms and hands actually got bigger too.
That's what it wasn't. It didn't look as bad as I thought it is. Like I kind of figured we'd see him big and totally forgot about it. But I kind of figured at first we would, and then like I just didn't expect it to look good, but it looked good. Like her head looked a little weird because it's the only thing not glowing. Like maybe next time make her head glow a little to match the rest of it. But like other than that, no, it looked pretty good. Like again, true fans of the comics, I get it. It's still not the same powers, but I really liked the full arc of these powers that she's using them like Kamala from the comics, but then she just also has this I don't know, power to her.
Mm-hmm. It's like a cosmic thing. Or I mean, I guess now
definitely cosmic, and we will definitely find that out.
Yeah. I guess now it's more of the M word thing. We won't say it yet, I guess, but
yeah.
More leaning in towards that, which also before we start talking about that, the big reveal at the end also kind of explains why they rushed through Bruno telling her about her powers.
Yes.
For this kind of like secret reveal, I feel like.
All right, all right. So all right, let's back up because we don't want to jump into the credit scenes already.
Yeah.
But I agree. The credit scenes were great. I loved them. Like I'm excited. Yeah. I'm just more excited. I think.
Wait, was there how many were there?
There was two.
There was two. I only saw one.
Well, including the Bruno scene, there was two.
Okay.
Like I can say the one week later was a credit scene.
Yeah.
Like,
okay.
Let's be real. Like an MCU finale on Disney Plus usually is. Most of it was just a fun action sequence, which is, I mean, it was great. But like, so the high school stuff, I did want to say something, and I don't think we've ever talked about this. And this isn't like a nitpick. It's just like genuine, like kind of fun curiosity. But I would love if a real high school somewhere was to reach out and do one thing that a movie makes it seem you can do in a high school. And it's specifically talking about in a chem lab. Like the fact that, like I always love the idea that like people go into a high school in any movie and they're like, oh, let me just whip this up. Like the foam bomb that happened.
Yeah.
Or in Amazing Spider-Man 1, like the lizard like mixing those two chemicals and creating that like shock bomb. Like I would love if a high school was like, oh yeah, I could do that. And like a chem teacher just like walked into a room and created this. It would make me so happy.
I know, like what I know, like, you know, you can do like you do experiments in chemistry class, but like stuff that you can use to make like bombs like the lizard did, and like this like whatever foam stuff in this, and like even in No Way Home they did that, like when they were making all the concoctions to like beat to like it was like a neurotoxin for Green Goblin. It's like, where the hell are you gonna find that stuff in a high school lab? Like
I would just love nothing more than a teacher to be like, oh, I could do that. Like
I can whip that up real quick. Probably what's his name, the guy that was at
God knows I was too dumb at least to do that in high school. Like, I'm not going to go whip up this makeshift thing to use against the villains.
I was just saying, in my chemistry class in high school, I didn't have the one teacher, like the hard ass one. I had another one. And all we did was I didn't want to mention names, but
I wasn't going to mention me. But because I got his name.
Yeah. But we did experiments with like gummy bears and stuff. Like we didn't even do like actual chemistry. So it's like, where are all these like deadly chemicals coming from in these high schools? Like
the only thing I remember from chemistry class is breaking a beaker, and then within an hour, the teacher coming up to me in the hallway and being like, "And here's your bill." And I was like, "Okay, sure."
It's a high school. Shit breaks. Like, have them replace it, you idiot.
Anyway, but yeah, that was all fun. I love the high school, like I don't know, Home Alone-esque style scene.
And I love definitely Home Alone, like the whole baseball softball trap.
So talking about the high school stuff.
Yeah.
I just think it was a lot of fun, very Home Alone-esque. I thought it was funny, like and I love that like that I think what I love the most about it is I wish there was more of that in the show as a whole.
Yeah.
Because like that was the MCU high school. Like you had very good high school scenes, and then you had mediocre like Marvel scenes, and it was like this was the greatest mix of those scenes, as you were saying earlier in our conversation. But like it was really cool seeing that like fighting in the hallways kind of thing, defending each other, like saving each other, and then just the shenanigans coinciding at the same time.
Yeah,
it was just a nice mix.
It felt very Spider-Man-esque, where like they're fighting in a place where they teenagers congregate. You know what I mean? Like
very, and that's what I'm saying. Like that's what like I just think if a little more, I don't know if it. I guess the rest of the show feels very much what's it called, like spreadsheety, right? Like we have to have 6 episodes, or what are these 6 episodes going to be? Whereas the finale felt like the end of a movie, and it was I really just if they had just made that, it would have been I can tell this would have been amazing, and
it would have been a
really,
great movie.
And
it would have been like Guardians of the Galaxy-esque, you know what I mean? Like how nobody really knew the character, and then
and I just don't, it doesn't make sense to me, because I really do think, especially with the fact that she's a girl, especially with the fact that she's a trying to
minority.
Thank you. Yes, I was like, what is the best thing? Maybe cut out me mumbling there, but trying to figure it out. But like all of these aspects, I just feel like you could have competed with Spider-Man, which is your greatest superhero right now. That isn't even yours technically.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But anyway, I another thing in the high school fight I wanted to talk about, which I loved the set for stun. Like I felt very Star Wars.
Yeah,
like
that's
set your guns for stun.
Yeah, that did feel very like, even like the not bullets, but whatever was coming
like
out
circular.
of them, the beams. Yeah, were circular. Yeah. And but I mean, they looked like they could do some damage. Like
that's what I wanted to. So we're watching it, and Val, the one scene, you see the stun gun shoot down that like wall of chairs, and you're like, all right, I mean, it's in its way, it's gonna do that. But then there's another moment where they're running around a corner, and the gun misses them and hits the corner, and the wall just crumbles,
explodes. Yeah.
And at that point, Val was like, they will die if that hits them. And that's it. I agree. I think they needed to. I understand we are now into the MCU mode. Like we are so into the MCU that the sci-fi weapons are like amongst everyone right now, right? Like that makes sense. I'm not arguing that they have stun guns. Maybe tone it down a little bit.
Yeah. Well, like even when they weren't using the guns, when they apprehended Bruno, they hit him in the face with the butt of the gun. I'm like, oh my god, he's a kid. Like
got KO'd. Yeah. He's like he was doing a dancing distraction.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, look at me. And I mean, it was just straight up the butt of the gun and just knocks him out.
Like, what are you doing? I mean, I guess they didn't know that, but like number one, he doesn't have any powers. Like number two, he's just a kid. Like
that and obvious. I mean, look, elephant in the room. This episode was definitely like doing some police brutality kind of like conversation starters.
Yeah.
I really don't think it was how do you say that? Like it wasn't over the top. I think
it wasn't preachy, but it was
it felt very much like this is
it was
kind
subtle.
Of yeah.
Because they made the cops, like the actual cops, the good guys, and they made the DODC.
That does help.
Yeah. And they made the DODC I guess SWAT team, whatever you want to call them.
I also joked about this when we were watching it, but like, so they just straight up made the damage control lady a villain. Like, she was just like
evil.
Hey, turn it around. She's like, okay, call him back up.
Like, what? Bring every available troop we have. Like,
she could not have been more hateable. Like, she was the most unlikable character of all time.
And that actress is like typecasted as that. She's also like she's in Orange is the New Black.
Yes.
And I think she's one of the wardens at one point or something like that.
Yes,
or like one of the higher ups in the prison.
I haven't watched. I know Val's watched, and like she said she's also a hateable character.
Yeah, she's horrible in that show.
And that like it's almost a shame, but like, man, when I saw her, I was just like, God, I hate her.
She's her face just exudes evil.
Screams evil.
Yeah.
She just looks so unhappy. Yeah, yeah, very good casting, I guess. But she was just, I mean, she was just straight up villain mode. I almost expected her to straight up fight Kamala or
Yeah, that's what I
Cameron
thought.
at some
Yeah,
point. I mean, she pulled the gun on him at the end of the fight,
yeah,
but like, I was surprised she didn't have a little stun gun and they didn't like have a moment kind of a thing.
yeah. And one of the weapons they used looked very familiar, and I was wondering what your opinion on it. The sonic gun, like the sonic
The sonic gun that was straight up from Incredible Hulk.
Okay, that's what I was gonna say. Yeah, that was like that must have been at least.
I haven't.
I mean, it must be Stark technology because they used a Stark drone to
Yes.
bomb Bruno's apartment. So
I haven't looked anything up, or I haven't gotten a chance to see anyone's reviews or anything like that. I keep shaking my camera, but I 100%. I'm watching the episode. They pull that up, and there's even a focus on it, like, oh, it's a cameo, and I immediately was that is the thing that shot the Hulk in Incredible Hulk.
Yeah, I was like that. I was looking like I paused it to try to see if I could find like Stark Industries on it or something like that. I don't know like where they're at in the MCU with Stark Industries, like if that's a thing anymore because Tony Stark's dead. So
I know it's weird. We haven't. I mean, it's they're definitely tiptoeing, dancing around it because I don't think that Pepper, whose actress I can't remember, but I feel like we're not going to see Pepper Potts again. Maybe I could see us seeing her in Ironheart, the Iron Man's show that's about the girl that makes the iron suit. We haven't talked about that.
Riri Williams or something.
Riri Williams. I could see her showing up for a cameo in that. Maybe like Stark technology won't see you or anything or something like along those lines. It'd be kind of funny. But like I don't know what's going on. Like Pepper Potts in Endgame, they were retired, so I guess she shouldn't still be head of the company. But who is like Stark Tech has to exist. Maybe that'd be like if Apple just dissolved because Steve Jobs died.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, like they definitely had to have appointed a new CEO because obviously Stark Tech's still out there. I mean, it was there for Far From Home with Quentin Beck.
Right.
Like when they were, and then obviously here it was used with the DODC, and so unless Happy Hogan's just fucking up,
That's a great point. Happy could very much be a big man on campus right now at Stark Technologies. I didn't even think of that, which would make sense.
Yeah. And then like the final fight with like Cameron and stuff like that, like when he started turning on Kamala, like when they were in the bathroom. And I was like, so is he a bad guy? And then he went outside and like it was like, oh no, he just can't control his powers, but he also can control his power. Like it was kind of
I like that a lot because it felt very much like like call spade a spade. It felt like a teenager freaking out.
Yeah.
And like it just felt on par for the course. Like, yep, kid just found out his mom died. She died for him. He's got these powers. These people are pissed at him. Well, he's just freaking out. And it instantly, I was surprised they didn't like bring the lineup again. But in when they're in the mosque and the head of the mosque, who I forget what that's called, but the head of the mosque
Sheik, says, I think was it right? Sheik, I think.
Sure.
I think
but he I don't know if you remember it. He, after giving him the baseball caps, which again, greatest disguises in the MCU.
Oh my god, perfect MCU canon. Just throw on a baseball hat. Yeah, you're a different person.
But so he gives him that, and he says something along the lines of, I'm gonna butcher it, but like just because you're their enemy doesn't mean they're your enemy. Something along those lines, which was a beautiful moment. And it was very interesting because you could see like Cameron he didn't care anymore. He couldn't take it. So he's just freaking out at everyone. And I loved that Kamala was what stood in the way of that. Like she's the one that stood between him and everyone. And she saved everyone. And to me, that was when she became a hero.
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. She it's like that ultimate sacrifice type thing that kind of makes you a hero. Like your defining moment of I'll give my life to defend this person type thing. I feel like that's when she officially became Miss Marvel.
Right. And just her doing that was just, I don't know. It was a nice moment. And like I said, I just really enjoyed this episode. And I think it hit tropes well. Like it hit like things that are like you've seen in movies and TV before, but like it did it so well. And it was so enjoyable with these new characters.
Yeah. And one thing I noticed too, with like at the end when she's about to get captured or whatever, and then all her like family and friends and like the police and everything kind of surround her, that kind of like encapsulated the series of like, they focused on the family and the friends so much that they're the ones that ended up sort of quote unquote saving her at the end from being. I mean, I know she like super powered away and everything, so she technically saved herself, but
right,
but
they gave her that like
they gave her
that breath air moment,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
She just caught like a Jeep or whatever. She kind of needed a second to chill out. No, yeah, I agree. That's like, I don't know, man. Like, there really wasn't much to complain about with this episode. It was so funny. It was fun. And the hero moments were real hero moments and really enjoyable. And I just wish it was so much more of this all season.
Yeah. If it had that good mix of the family elements and the MCU elements, not just because I feel like, I mean, I know we said this in past episodes, but like the family elements were amazing, but the MCU moments, like the action, the fighting, all that storyline just kind of drug on and didn't, I mean, obviously it led to somewhere. It led somewhere pretty good, but
right. And I think it's funny because I think what we missed was like, you basically just needed a better training montage moment that like in a movie, like a training montage moment. That's like, okay, that's why. Oh, she's getting better at her powers. Oh, exactly, this just happened. And oh, okay. Like, yeah, let's go. And then fight happens and she's great. And it just like, instead we had like 3 episodes getting there and
just kind of filler.
Maybe we're just impatient, which is totally possible. Like,
we're used to seeing it all in a 2.5 hour setting rather than 6 hours or whatever.
Like
5 hours.
I could definitely see season 2 being better than this, like, because you're established, you don't need to go through the origin tropes. Like, I could see season 2 of Miss Marvel being very good. I don't know, but I just I stand by what we've said. And I guess I don't have much else to say about the episode itself except for the ending. So if you're do you want the ending of the show? The ending of the episode, the ending of the series, like there really was like 3 endings, and it was like the ending to the show or the ending to the episode, I would say, is her talking to her dad, right? Like, that's it, and then leading up to her on the light post, which is just what a shot. Perfect. I love that we're getting these comic book shots in the cinematically. It looks so good. And that was great. That was a cute little moment, right? She gets her name from her dad.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
I didn't know how she got her name, like in the comics or anything like that. And
so in the comics, Miss Marvel is Carol Danvers was first Miss Marvel. Like Captain Marvel was the name of a male Kree who did what Captain Marvel does, goes around the universe, galaxy, saving people.
Gotcha.
But then I forget what happens to Captain Marvel, the Kree. I'm sure he died, and Carol Danvers takes that mantle up
as
her own way.
Okay, gotcha.
And then basically, like when the movies were like getting made, they were like, okay, we're just gonna go with Captain Marvel as Carol Danvers.
Yeah,
and which was great. But so for Miss Marvel, like she was always, as she is in the show, like a fan of Captain Marvel, and so she took Miss Marvel on as like a passing down of the mantle of her previous name.
Okay.
So I was curious where they were going to come up with the name because Miss Marvel didn't exist.
Yeah.
As the character. So it was a cute moment. I really liked it. I mean, like I said before, I love the dad. He's just such a goofball.
I meant to bring this up earlier, but when he had that like sort of with great power comes great responsibility moment with Kamala, I was like, oh no, are they gonna kill the dad? Like I was like, is the dad gonna die? Like I was waiting for a family member to die.
I know. I was too, dude. Like it just, I don't know. Maybe they're saving it for. I hope they're just not going to do it at all.
Yeah.
I don't. I know her dad's alive in her story, but I don't know anything about any of her other family members. So, that being said, though, Miles has lost both his parents and his uncle so many different ways in the comics. Like in one time he loses his mom, and another time he loses his dad. In the movies he loses his uncle. Like it's anything's
so much tragedy.
And actually, if I can jump into that, I guess jumping off of the show for a minute, because I brought up Miles Morales, naturally, I do have a note here. I don't know how or what, but Miles Morales and Miles Morales Spider-Man and Miss Marvel are like companions, great friends. Like when I say companions, I mean like brothers in arms kind of a thing on the streets of New York. Like they work together. They're team up stuff. That's what I'm trying to say. And all that just to say is we desperately need Miles Morales to get like fast tracked now.
Honestly, they should throw him in season 2. You know what I mean? Like season 2 of Miss Marvel, introduce Miles, like live action Miles Morales.
And I don't know, because I think he's technically Sony's. I think Sony has Miles controlled just like Peter, and that's
what's of the Spider-Verse stuff and everything.
I was really hoping when the latest Spider-Man deal was being made, Sony would essentially give up Miles Morales rights, like to back to Disney, but like they keep Peter Parker's rights, because that's what I'm like. God, I'm so scared we're gonna miss out on this Miss Marvel and Miles Morales like banter. Like they're just such good friends in the comics, and I really hope we get that. And I don't think we will, because it's gonna take a long time to get any of that going.
Yeah. I feel like that's definitely gonna be like I feel like that would be phase 6 stuff. You know what I mean? Like they're already setting up for phase 5. I feel like anything further like Miles Morales and all that would probably be down the road.
I definitely think Miss Marvel works so well with others. Like she's such a great team up character. One of the reasons the Marvels is going to be great. But like I really want to see her team up with someone her age. And I think right now the closest is Kate Bishop, and even she's like 4 to 5 years older than her in continuity.
Yeah.
So I mean, I kind of just wish there was someone else, a comic in the MCU that she could team up with. And I really hope, whether it's introduced next season or what, that they get something, but it should be Miles. And that just bums me out a little bit. And that's nothing to do with this show. Like that's what I'm trying to. It's just,
it's Sony's fault.
Yeah. But yeah, Miss Marvel, cute how she got her name. I think I cut you off though. If there's anything you want to say about that.
No. Just it was a cool little like moment between Kamala and her dad. Like, you know, that's why we named you. I forget how it went, but he was like our little Miss Marvel, and it was kind of like her like ding.
Yeah. And it was neat. Like I love that. I don't know. I thought it was a cute moment. It was very corny, but in a good way, and I loved it. And then so that was like I felt the ending of the episode. Yeah. The ending of the season, I think, was the 1 week later. So let's talk about that. Woo! Yeah, 1 week later, Bruno's getting ready to go off to California, whatever, and he pulls the scene that we've been waiting for in any movie. And you called it.
So surprised that they chose Miss Marvel to bring it in. And I mean, I'm not disappointed. I'm, extremely happy, but
I think the quote, like gifs are hilarious and I use them as jokes, but I sent it to you last night and I think it stands out perfectly. A surprise to be sure, but a welcome one.
But
like it was, I was like, okay, let's go.
They're doing it.
So, Brendan called it, I want to say in the first 3 episodes or something, but basically Bruno says something along the lines of, I compared you to the rest of your family and they don't have the powers. It's just you. There's something about you in your genes. There's a mutation. And I thought the funniest thing was that Kamala is like, okay, like, all
right. Yeah. Like it wasn't
and I just love that, like, that's exactly what would happen. Like the word mutant means nothing to anyone except us.
Yeah.
But Kamala is the first mutant in the MCU officially.
Did you notice they played the X-Men 97 theme when he said mutation?
No.
Yeah, when he said you have a mutation, and the music in the background, it's faint, but you can hear it's like the theme song for X-Men. And I was like, oh, that's the X-Men theme. Like, because they played it. So cool. They played that when I just rewatched Multiverse of Madness, and they played that when Professor X comes in during the Illuminati meeting. Like they played the
and that was very well done in the movie. I didn't notice it for this time, but I was also just so
hyped about that. Yeah. Like that reveal.
And again, I loved how they did it, because it was so funny how it's like they name dropped mutant and they're just like, who cares? Like,
yeah, they're like, all right, mutation. Okay.
So I'm curious to see where that goes. I have zero idea. Like, do you expect, could season 2 of Miss Marvel be like, it's just X-Men filled?
It could be. I mean, they could introduce, you know,
I-
some of the. I know there also have been actors in talks of talking with, you know, Marvel Studios of I think Wolverine. The guy sounds like a weird casting, but the guy who played Elton John in the Elton John movie, the guy from Kingsman, the main kid from Kingsman, he's in talks for playing Wolverine.
You know what? He's not the brawniest guy, but he is a great actor. So
Yeah.
I do not hate that at
Yeah.
all.
And there was another one for I think Storm or something like that, but I forget who it was.
He's like what, our age, that guy? He's like,
yeah, I think he's
late
like
20s,
probably
30s?
like late 20s, early 30s.
Look it up. He's like 21.
Yeah. Taron Egerton is his name, I believe.
I don't hate that at all. I you know what? It's so funny. I was just saying how like I want Miles so that she has a fellow teen hero to talk to, but I didn't even consider that could be season 2 could just be here's all the teen mutants.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And maybe the finale of season 2 is a cliffhanger for Xavier's School of Gifted Youngsters, you know? Like I could see that like I don't know how maybe Damage Control is like hooking them up like get out of the gutter. Like I'm folks, I'm trying to say like connecting them so they meet people. All right.
Jeez. Yeah.
No, but like I'm saying, like, you know, maybe she meets Iceman. Bobby's
or like maybe they throw Rogue in or
the
something
X-Men
like that.
high schoolers.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could totally see them doing that. That would, and I mean, it would definitely make this whole Secret Wars thing come to life. You know what I mean? Like where you have, I mean,
they hooked me back in.
Every time I think I'm out, you pull me right back.
Have I ever actually thought I was out though? That's the question.
No,
absolutely not.
Maybe for like a brief second during Thor: The Dark World, but other than that,
yeah, no, that was I still can't. I have to rewatch now to catch the music, but I don't know any other theories you think for mutants. Like we gotta I look, all I gotta say is you better fast track it now.
Yeah,
you can't tease us.
You can't give us
mutants and not do something with it.
You can't say mutants or mutation for the first time and then just forget about it for like, I don't know, 2 years until Miss Marvel season 2 probably comes out. Like I can't imagine it's gonna be that quick of a turnaround because they still got to do the Marvels and then the rest of Phase 4. Or we're on 4.
I don't know. Yeah, we're currently doing 4. So I don't know what. I would assume the Marvels is either done or mid filming. I don't actually know. I would assume Miss Marvel season 2 releases in 24. I think that's very fair. Like the Marvels is essentially going to be I don't know, half sequel, let's call it, to Miss Marvel, and then you're gonna go back, obviously. Like they're not gonna kill Miss Marvel.
And I guess since we're talking about the Marvels, the end credit scene with let's just bring it out. I mean, Captain Marvel.
Captain Marvel. So she's sitting there and she zaps.
Miss Marvel zaps. Yeah.
Miss Marvel zaps in her bedroom, and suddenly Carol Danvers is just standing there. New costume, by the way.
Yeah. Yeah.
New
sleek,
costume.
Very sleek.
Looked very good. Carol Danvers just standing there looking in the room like, what the heck just happened?
Yeah.
And the thing that we saw zap her was her own bangle. So I'm assuming the bangle's cosmic. We're going to see the origin of the bangle in the movie. And whatever Carol Danvers was doing, we're going to see she was doing some kind of hero stuff in the universe, and she switched places with Miss Marvel.
Yep. And now she's got to fight whatever she was just at, and then Carol Danvers has got to figure out what the hell is going on. I'm sure there's going to be some sort of Earth, not villain or something going on. You know what I mean?
I'm gonna guess that her switching with Miss Marvel with Kamala is how. I don't know why we're gonna say this is the first time she finally does this, but Carol Danvers for the first time looks for Monica Rambeau's child and finds, or is Monica the child?
I forget.
I forget. She looks for Rambeau's
the younger
daughter,
Rambeau. Yeah,
and then finds baby Rambeau, and she also has powers, so I assume she's going to be in the Marvels. And anyway, I think that's going to be what's happening on Earth while Kamala is in space fighting like an octopus monster.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that totally makes sense. I mean, that's not what I expected the Marvels to be. Like I thought it was going to be like, that's not what I was expecting how Captain Marvel was going to come into Miss Marvel, but I'm not disappointed. It was a very like, what the hell happened? Like,
Like
it left you on your toes.
I don't think they're connected. I think the way I took it is I think there's going to be like almost an Indiana Jones-esque like Captain Marvel thing where she's doing some kind of quest or fight or something, and she finds maybe the other bangle, maybe just this other artifact that's connected to the bangle. And so that's gonna be what, like, I don't think it's her, I don't think they're connected specifically. I think she's gonna find the thing that's connected to the bangle.
Now
I don't know. Exciting setup.
One thing I wanted to bring up that I actually just thought of is so I know when we get the flashback of when they find the bangle in India, it's attached to a blue hand, which we assumed could be like a Kree hand.
Yeah.
And not Miss Marvel, Carol Danvers, Captain Marvel, is part cosmic energy, part Kree energy, like part not time stone, space stone, and Kree energy.
Yes. Yeah.
And then obviously whatever's in that bangle has some sort of Kree energy in it that unlocked it in Kamala, but she's also a mutant. I wonder because didn't the Kree create the Inhumans?
Yes. So
I wonder if they're just gonna kind of combine Inhumans and mutants into one thing, so that way there's not two different sects of mutants, but there's just one, so that way it's less confusing for the audience. I mean, I know we just got Black Bolt, but
you can easily just say he's a mutant. He doesn't have to be an Inhuman.
I was just say, did they say Inhumans at all about him?
No. All they said about Black Bolt was, he can kill you with the whisper of his mouth, and then he doesn't have no mouth.
Okay.
I very easily could see them doing that, and I don't know. I don't know. It'll be very interesting what they do with Inhumans and mutants. I don't see Inhumans coming back at all, to be honest.
I mean,
not even
Black.
I don't know. Not really. I just see them leaving that where it was, and like that's kind of the closing of the book for that character, which sucks for them, but like kind of cool.
I could see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that was just one thing I thought of. Like, I could see them totally just like, screw it, we're not going to do Inhumans and mutants. We're just going to do mutants. Like, you wanted one, we gave you the best one. Like,
and I mean, come on, think about it. If you're going to have the intermingling of two different species, that's going to give you a mutant. It might not be the mutants and love from the books, but that definition will be a mutant.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I totally see that being what it is. It's very curious. And, so we just finished it, right? It's July 14th. We've got a week and a half now?
Yeah.
No,
until
2 weeks.
She-Hulk, right?
2 weeks until San Diego Comic Con.
San Diego Comic Con. Okay. Or no, is that next? I think that's next weekend, right? 23rd.
Oh, I thought it was the 28th, which is
maybe.
I don't know nothing.
One of those.
But we got a week to 2 weeks until San Diego Comic Con.
Yes.
Rumor has it we'll get the Wakanda Forever trailer, which
yes, I did see.
Finally.
Yep.
Yeah. Also a lot of leaks on that. I
did read half of a plot summary, and then I stopped myself. I was like, you know what? I want to wait for the trailer. But
I kind of got sucked in. I'm not gonna lie. Not disappointed in what I read.
Yeah. I mean,
I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
I also probably What If season 2 trailer. We don't know the date yet, but I will say now. I've been waiting to drop this on the podcast, but I have a source that Pops will be coming out for What If season 2 in November. So I would assume What If season 2 will also be dropping
probably in November. Yeah.
Also, again, unnamed professional source, just saying, look out for No Way Home Wave 2 Funko Pops coming this November.
Oh, it's gonna be awesome.
So excited.
That's gonna be
You're
sick.
Getting everything you want, and I'll leave it at that.
Hell yeah, I'm pumped.
So other than that, so we got She-Hulk coming in August.
Yes.
We got What If probably in November.
Mm-hmm.
We've got Wakanda Forever, which I believe is December. I think that's the
I think it was December 22. Yep.
So we've got a lot coming out, but it's going to be pretty kind of spread out, I think.
Yeah, it's not going to be as close together right now as, we've been feasting. It's been like Christmas morning every week because I mean, what May was Multiverse of Madness. Then we had was there anything after? I guess it would be Miss Marvel Kenobi. After that. Oh, well, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Yeah.
So that's what, like, for us, like, we've been we just jumping from thing to thing to thing. I mean, I guess technically,
even coming up still. I mean, we got She-Hulk coming up in a few weeks, Andor coming up in a few weeks, and Andor is going to go from August to October.
I know. Was it 12
episodes?
Oh,
yeah,
and that looks good. That looks great.
I'm very excited for that. That it's going to be like a Rebel, like a specific Rebel based show. You know what I mean? It's not really going to focus on the Empire, or it's going to focus on the Empire, but it's not going to focus on Vader. It's not going to focus on the Emperor. It's going to be the Rebels, like
I agree,
fighting the the Empire.
Just straight up Rebels Empire stuff. Yeah, no Inquisitors, probably no Jedi, like just straight up, and that's cool. I am excited for us. I would say at the end of the year, you know, we're raking it in, but at the end of the year, I am excited to look back at phase 4 2022 and just kind of like, okay, where do things stand? Like right now, I don't know, immediate thoughts, Brendan, on Miss Marvel versus Moon Knight.
I feel like Moon Knight had a better story, like a better better story and better characters, I guess, because he is two people. But that's what I would say is I think Moon Knight had a better story, but Miss Marvel definitely had a better payoff. I mean, because Moon Knight ended and it was like, oh, okay, cool, it's his third personality, but like
more Moon Knight stuff.
Yeah, it's basically
there's no MCU impact. Like that's the cool thing about Miss Marvel is, like, I wanted to text my buddy and be like, yo, I know you have no interest in watching Miss Marvel, but the impact.
Honestly, just haven't watched the last episode.
Yeah, like, I agree.
Anybody out there that doesn't want to, I mean, I don't know why you'd be an hour into a podcast all about Miss Marvel in this episode, but
no, but what we'll do, this is our PSA to people that listened to tell your friends to watch just the finale.
Exactly. Yeah. If they're Marvel fans and we're like, oh, this isn't for me, it looks stupid, it looks like a kid show, just watch the finale. You don't even like, it's not, there's no, like, she's got powers. Yeah. You don't need, like, no, she's just got powers and they're running away from cops. That's all you need to know. Basically the whole show. Just watch the end credits scene, damn it. Yeah, exactly. Just watch the last like 20 minutes and then you're good. I don't know. This definitely got me excited. I agree. I think I liked Moon Knight as a show more, I think. I really did enjoy almost a weekly episode of Moon Knight. And I think I got to rewatch it to see if that still holds up. I was a little excited, like hyped up for it as it was. But I think I liked Moon Knight as a show more, but I definitely like the characters in Miss Marvel more. Like, I think the highlight of Moon Knight is just Oscar Isaac. Like, I couldn't even tell you any of the other characters' names or anything. He made the show, like, right. Whereas Miss Marvel, I loved every single character. Yeah, except for that dumb bitch that's in Damage Control. Oh my god. I don't even remember her name. I don't remember Lieutenant Asshole or whatever. Did she have a name? I don't remember. Yeah. The guys, I guess her boss, the No Way Home guy. Yeah. The No Way Home guy. He basically fired her. Yeah. So I'm guessing she got fired. Not basically, he did fire her. Yeah. I'm guessing he's higher up than her. I thought they were like same tier type of thing, or I thought she was higher than him, but turns out. No, definitely not. Definitely not. She got done screwed. Well, she screwed herself, but I wonder though if, Damage Control will continue to be a problem in the MCU, like problem for other characters, or if this was just kind of like a one-off thing with Spider-Man and Miss Marvel. It definitely feels like it's aimed towards youngsters right now, right? Like I could see Damage, I could see from what we've seen in the MCU, I could see Damage Control being a main antagonist to X-Men. Yeah. Like, what if they're the ones that create the Sentinels and stuff like that? Like, exactly. Yeah. Like I could see them being, because right now it looks like they're trying to round up gifted youngsters. Yeah. And stop them from abusing their power, doing something stupid, screwing up, which in
on paper is fine, but like it's the obvious, you can't just go kicking down a school doors kind of a thing, right?
Exactly.
Like,
yeah.
So that's what I could see them being like the police brutality against the mutant community as a whole. So, if mutants are a focus in season 2 of Miss Marvel, maybe they're still damage control
Still the
comes
bagger.
back,
Yeah. Yeah. I could totally see that.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes total sense for them to be the villains in like you said, the main antagonists to the X-Men or mutant kind in general.
I think it makes sense because to me, damage control, I think, is the regular folk in the MCU trying to police superheroes.
Yeah.
Like so in comics, it's just government and police, but no one wants to see that.
No one wants to see just regular. I mean, I don't think they want to see any more police brutality on TV or on movies and TV than there actually is in real life. So,
but like you want to give a face to a name kind of a thing, or a name to the face, I guess, is the opposite. Like, because it's not just government hates superheroes. It's damage
a specific branch of the government that hates superheroes.
But it's kind of like, it just makes sense to me that you're going to create this specific function, and it's not Shield, right? Because Shield works with superheroes from what we've seen.
Yeah,
like
no,
although I don't know, who knows what I
don't think Shield's a thing anymore, right?
I don't think they are either. Like, I think Sword exists.
Yeah, Sword. Yeah, I guess Shield turned into Sword is.
Oh, that's another thing I think we're getting at San Diego Comic Con. I think we're getting, I don't know if we're getting a trailer, but at least news for Secret Invasion.
Oh yeah, yep.
So,
I definitely have a feeling at Comic Con where, I mean, obviously, like we talked about, we're definitely getting Wakanda Forever.
Hopefully phase 5.
Hopefully some phase 5s. Maybe they'll do like, how Feige always does the timeline maps. Maybe they'll like have the timeline map with some new added movies in there. Maybe they'll have like a Guardians 3 title already.
I would love a new timeline. I would get so hyped over a new timeline.
We're basically already almost at the end of the timeline they released the last time they were at, or whatever D23 thing it was.
That's what I
think Wakanda Forever was the last one on the timeline.
Well, I don't know. I think the timeline itself not mixed up. I think they've changed what movies came out in what order.
I guess, yeah, because of the pandemic and everything probably messed all that up.
I think phase 4, we still, like, Quantumania is still phase 4. I know that.
Yes.
But what other movies are coming out next year? I don't think Disney Plus stuff next year is phase 4 timeline. I think the only 2 things phase 4 that I know of off the top of my head is Quantumania and Guardians of the Galaxy 3, which was, I believe, announced with no release date at the time.
Okay.
So
maybe we'll get some Quantumania footage, like a little teaser at Comic-Con.
That would be so cool. We get so little so far ahead now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say we keep, like, with Thor, right? Like, we got Thor. That we didn't get the trailer for like 4 weeks or whatever before the movie came out.
Yeah, basically, yeah. I mean, they're really pushing the envelope of when they release these trailers. Also, in early June, Loki season 2 went into production, so maybe we'll get like a little maybe a release date for Loki season 2 or something like that.
Huh? So I'm wrong. Phase 4 ends with Thor: Love and Thunder.
Oh wow! So we're on phase 5. We're going into phase 5.
Phase 4. I'm looking at the Comic-Con timeline that, like, with them on the stage shaking each other's hands, like, oh, it's the scientist meme, right?
Look at how good we are.
Oh, we're great. Good job. But no, I'm looking at the timeline, and the only the Disney Plus shows is just WandaVision, Loki, and Hawkeye, which those are very over.
Yeah.
And the movies, and What If? Sorry, that was hiding in the corner there. Yeah. And Falcon and the Wind. I'm just wrong. But the movies, it was Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of the Madness, followed by Thor: Love and Thunder. Now, and these were back in 2021. So like to be released in 2021. So yeah,
okay.
we are through phase 4 with Thor: Love and Thunder. Wow.
So we're going in. So would Miss Marvel technically be phase 5? I mean, I know it came out before, but the last episode aired after Love and Thunder.
Yes. You know what I'm gonna do? Real quick. Well, last live lookup. Last thing for the episode. I'm gonna pull up the old Wikipedia where are people putting things? You know,
There we go.
never fails, right? Like you get the MCU timeline from the Wikipedia. Let's see. We'll end it on this note. Where are we? Yeah, God, no, I don't know. Give me the list. Where's the list? Wait, hold on. I know it. Just give me some X-Men noises or whatever. The song.
Oh, here we go. Phase 4.
Okay. Got it. Okay, so this is just wrong. I'm gonna say fuck it. Oh, I try not to do that, but screw whoever put the Wikipedia page is wrong.
I'm gonna share mine just so we have it on the episode.
That's what I was just looking at.
What you're looking at? Okay.
Yeah.
Honestly, completely forgot about Eternals. Not gonna lie.
I cannot wait to rate the movies we've seen in Phase 4 at the end of this year.
So I guess also it started out with Black Widow, then Shang-Chi, then Eternals, No Way Home, Multiverse of Madness, Love and Thunder. Oh, but these are just the movies. This isn't even including.
This isn't even Disney Plus.
Disney Plus stuff. Yeah. So I guess the final of Phase 4 would be Fantastic Four.
See, but I don't agree with that because I remember it was a Disney it was a D23 event, which is what like I maybe they announced false Zach. There was a D23 event where they announced the official release dates of Phase 4 movies after the pandemic, like the new schedule, right?
Yeah.
And that's when they announced the Marvels and Fantastic Four. But I don't think those were technically Phase 4.
I don't think they should.
Fantastic Four doesn't even have a timeline. We just have a director, right? No, we don't even have a director. We lost the director.
He dropped out. Yeah, the John Watts or whatever his name was. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wrong. I'm throwing it out there.
Yeah, I have a feeling Fantastic Four, even possibly the Marvels, will be start of Phase 5.
Yeah, I could see the Marvels technically. Well, I don't know because if Quantum, I don't know, or
maybe. I mean, there's so many things going on in the MCU right now that I don't know how they're all going to connect to each other. Especially
you know what I'm going to say. I think it'd be great. I think San Diego Comic Con, we're getting the Phase 5 timeline, and starting with Quantum Mania, and basically everything next year is Phase 5. That is my prediction.
Like everything 2023 and on. Yes. Like so basically, probably Black Panther or Wakanda Forever would be the end of Phase 4,
which would make sense.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense timeline like our timeline wise, meaning like that's the end of the year. Next year will be Phase 5, which totally makes sense. They do a phase a year. That would be, that would be viable. But
it's hard to believe that we're through Phase 4 technically.
I know. I remember when they were starting Phase 3 and being like, "Holy crap!" Like,
yeah, it's hard, and especially with this being the first one that didn't have Avengers. Like,
yeah,
weird.
They're not being an Avengers, an official Avengers title, and yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
I that's it.
All right. Well, I think that'll do it for this episode of Stars and Marvels. Be sure to hit that like, subscribe. Also, maybe follow us on Spotify and Apple Podcasts if that's a thing. I don't know if it is, but
just do the things. Click the buttons.
Click the buttons. Look, hit the things.
If you followed it, if you listened this far, appreciate it. Like us, like we're just two guys nerding out. Like the last 5 minutes is what I love about this. This is just pure hype for what's to come. And
we're definitely, in the future, when there's more of a lull in episodes coming out, movies coming out, we're going to do more episodes more than likely like this, where we're talking about future MCU projects, talking about past MCU projects, how they'll link in with other stuff. So, we'll be doing episodes.
I can't wait to rank.
Oh my God. That's going to be amazing. Yeah. We're going to be doing ranking episodes of,
dig a hole in the dirt, drop Eternals in it, stomp on it a little bit, and put it back, put more dirt on it.
But yeah, more episodes like these will be coming as we get more of a lull in Disney properties coming out. So
correct.
But yeah, so that'll do it for Stars and Marvels episode 11. And
thanks, guys.
Yeah, catch you on the next one.